What's up, Dunwoody? Welcome back to the podcast. It's all about Dunwoody, Georgia. My name is Matt Weber. Show is brought to you by Dr. Brett Friedman with Village Orthodontics and ReDiscover Dunwoody. We got a whole lot of stuff to talk about today. So, Mark,
we do.
You know how I like to leave it. How would you like to begin?
I would like to talk about my life story. No, I wouldn't.
I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about
Let's talk about what's new, right?
Okay.
Everybody is, interesting.
That's always my favorite thing. That's what you really bring to the show, is that you know all of the new stuff that I've never heard of.
Do you know who Jennifer Betcher is?
I do.
Jennifer Betcher, Director of Communications for the City of Dunwoody. I ran into her this week, and she said she listened to our last show, and she said she learned stuff from this show. That actually made me so happy. So, Jennifer, shout out to you. And it is great to know that we're giving information even you don't know about.
Did you see the little baby AI thing that I made for her?
Yes. That was awesome. I love that.
Yeah. So
can you do that with us? I'd like to be a baby.
Yeah, you want to be a baby? I can turn you into
diapers.
Yeah. I've for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I love AI. And so I've seen all of my favorite podcasters turned into little babies where they talk in their regular voices, but they look like a baby. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's funny to me. And so I made one with my son, and Jennifer was the one, really the only one, that reached out and was like, I love these baby things. These are so amazing. And so I found an old, what was it called? Dunwoody Darlings. It was actually a Discover Dunwoody thing, or what was it? Dunwoody CVB, I guess. It was way back when. And it's on the YouTube page, which everybody should check out, Discover Dunwoody's YouTube page. There's a bunch of old stuff that one of them was called Dunwoody Darlings. And so I took a little clip from that and put her into a baby body. And it was really fun. I love because her voice is just perfect for stuff like that.
Absolutely perfect.
She was a newscaster, I love that. So it makes total sense.
Yeah, so cool. I love when you do that. All right, here's the big news. And so this is, as a service to the city of Dunwoody, our citizens here and beyond, we launched a brand new website, and I love doing this. I'm going to share my screen and let everybody see this. Which one? We're going to go right there and allow. All right, Matt, you just jumped off my screen. Tell me you can see me.
We're good. Keep going.
All right, good. This is the brand new website. We're excited about this, and it's got a lot of great new features. Remember, our number one thing is we want you to book hotels in Dunwoody, and nobody knows where Dunwoody is, where it begins, where it ends, which hotels are in Dunwoody, which ones are not. That's the best place to go. But we've got some nice new elements, which will really, playing with these little bubbles is a great way to spend the afternoon. But you can see all of the elements are brighter. Our blogs are easier to find, easier to identify what is something you want to engage with. And then right on the first page, we have all of the events that happen in Dunwoody, which, by the way, we are the number one place to find out what's happening in Dunwoody. Everybody submits events to our website, and we love to carry them. The big thing, and I'm not going to go page by page before we lose all of our two viewers, but my favorite thing is the search function. So hit the little search button there, and you can search anything you want, and quickly, actively, all the search results come up. So if you've landed on a website before and you couldn't find, you didn't know what you wanted, but you had something specific, just go ahead and plug in whatever you're looking for. I'm actually looking for the 4th of July parade. Let's go parade. Let's type that.
Yeah, I'll actually use this function.
So 4th of July parade. There we go. We can click that, and we can learn about the 4th of July parade. And this is an older page. That
was the Dunwoody Darling that you had right there.
That's right.
I hope nobody's listening to the podcast here, because it's going to be...
You're just missing it, right? But so we're really thrilled that that is out there, and that we've got that up and running. It is a great website. Nice. I will tell you, a lot of effort. Shout out to Ashley Rossalillo, who is on our team, is in charge of that. By the way, she's the one that runs the trolley tour that you're hosting tomorrow. Ashley is unbelievably talented. We're so thrilled with the work she's done on this website. So thank you, Ashley.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of
anybody,
the
go
same
check it out.
vibe. It looks like the same color scheme and that kind of stuff, but it just looks so much nicer.
Yeah, much better. We do a better job of leveraging our branding on that. The bubbles. Did you know what the bubbles on our D stands for? We talked about that.
We always talked about, me and Justin, when Justin was part of the show, we always talked about it as the Infinity War, where at the end where Tom Holland's like talking to Iron Man, and all of a sudden just dissipates into the air.
It just goes, well, that's probably why I should bring this up. So all the dots represent the people migrating from the Atlanta area. So from us, essentially, southeast up to the northeast where Dunwoody is. And so that's the people migrating to come to the wonderful city of Dunwoody. Those little bubbles are a lot of our branding. So you'll see that all over the site. We love that.
Yeah.
But check that out. Let us know if you see something that needs to be changed, that needs to be added, something we've missed. We are always interested in making that website the very best website in the country. We have a very high bar. So let's talk about some new stuff that's opening. How about that?
Let's do it.
Big news. Very excited. Flashing news. Put that animation there. Urgent news, whatever. The big thing is Hampton Social is actually opening. Why is this such a big deal? We've been talking about Hampton Social for such a long time.
This is at High Street. Been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, it's at High Street.
I don't know anything about it personally, but apparently it's got a big following.
It's a restaurant. At its core, it's a restaurant, but they have all these Instagrammable spaces there. It's 2 floors at High Street, so you can come in on the upper level, which is where Putt Shack and Agave Bandito are. But they also have a lower level that's just off of the green at High Street. Grand opening if you're watching this, when this drops, it's probably after the grand opening happened. Okay. So that's happening this Friday. We'll be there. We'll cover it on our socials, so check our social channels out. And we'll let everybody know more about Hampton Social as we get in there and actually see it. They're in the middle of training. Oh, my gosh. Matt, I walked by there yesterday, and there are just hundreds of people getting trained. So
that's cool.
We're so excited.
That's a big place, huh?
It is big, right? 2 floors? That's unbelievable. Yeah. So glad they're there. They are a cornerstone of what High Street's planning, what they're offering, and it will pull in a lot of people.
And we need more Instagrammable places in the city of Dunwoody, because it's all about the gram. You know that, Mark.
The what?
It's all about the gram.
The gram. It is all about the gram.
Yeah.
Check out our Instagram. That's a matter of fact. We have our gram is kicking.
It is.
But yeah, it is. So important. There is this other thing out there called TikTok, which kind of lends itself to this as well. So what are some other places opening up over at High Street that you can continue to look forward to? And this is just a little sampling. Rosetta Bakery is coming into High Street. Veruni Napoli, which is a pizza place, very nice, is coming in there. And don't forget, they've got a built-in ice skating rink over there. So when it gets cold out in December, you'll be able to go to High Street and go ice skating. So we're pretty excited about all that. Some other openings coming up. Has opened. Stone Age Korean Barbecue has opened at Ashford Place. Was there for the grand opening this week. Got to sample the food. Absolutely fantastic. Have you ever been to a Korean barbecue place, Matt?
I don't know if I went to the one in Georgetown, but that was kind of not as the same thing.
Yeah. So these places, they have the meat is cooked right in the middle of your table. So either you cook it or the server cooks it. Yeah, it's really cool. Neat concept. What I love about it is you get a nice piece of meat. You can cook it, get it nice and caramelized. But I like my steaks piping hot, and so you can take your steak and you can heat it up right in front of it and dip it in their fancy sauces.
Okay,
it's really good. The meat was fantastic. The service was great. It looks great.
Meal and a show.
It's very interactive. So Matt, it's where you would take a date that you didn't have anything in common with, right? Okay. Not that you ever did that, but but it is a really cool thing. So many things going on, a lot happening there. So go check that out.
So fondue was where I actually took my date. That was
right
Fondue's right
Civil.
after fondue is where I asked Sasha to marry me. So
Listen to
got a
that.
special place in my heart.
That's right. Which was the
It
fondue
was
place?
Melting Pot. It's
Are
not
they
in
still
Dunwoody,
open?
so we don't have to talk about it.
No,
This
but
was
they
20
were.
years ago or 15 years ago.
Wow.
Actually, we're about to have 17, so it's 17 years ago.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Fondue. That's great fun. Maybe it'll come back. We need a fondue joint. If you're watching this and your name is David Avis, you should open a fondue joint.
Fondue.
All right. What are some other things happening? This is actually really cool. We have a brand new coffee shop that is coming to Dunwoody called Lucky Goat Coffee.
I saw that.
And it's over by Gillies. I forget what that road over there. That's the area that's back behind
Walmart,
the
right?
new Burger King on Chambly Dunwoody, in that area. That's
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Like
it's
next to Georgetown.
yes, in that general vicinity. Lucky Goat Coffee is it's a franchise out of North Florida, and look forward to trying that. Met the owner, and Josh, and he swears some of the best coffee he's ever had. So I love that.
In fact, you were the one that introduced us, and I was going through their website, so it does look nice. And they're everywhere, right? Not in Georgia, but they're I saw
a
like
lot
Tennessee
in Florida,
and Texas and Florida. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the first location in the state of Georgia. He has a mission to open a few of these, so we hope he's really successful. And yeah, I'm glad you talked to him. We're hoping to get him some more exposure. He'll need that. Then we have Oaxaca is continue. They're hiring. They're starting to train. So we haven't heard a date of that. So Oaxaca's the out parcel at Georgetown, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
That is supposed to open soon. So keep an eye on that. Desi District, we talked about that.
Yeah.
That's also there
for a second. What is with all these coffee shops? What do you think the explosion of coffee shops in Dunwoody is? I mean, Valor and Summit and Lucky Goat, like Arc. I mean, I feel like they all just came out of nowhere. I think we had 1 or 2 coffee shops total.
Yeah.
And now we got a whole bunch.
We've talked about this in the office, and our guess is that there's just a lot of demand for coffee. So go to Valor, it's busy. Yeah. Go to Summit, it's busy. And I think people are getting their niche spots that are probably closer to their home. And I think where Lucky Goat's going is brilliant. There is not a coffee shop over there, and there are apartments right across the street. I think it's smart. That's how
Arc, when Arc opened up, it was, I mean, the southeast side of Dunwoody has nothing. And so having something on my way to work, like on the way out, I think a lot of people from Dunwoody North are using them and Peeler.
It's great. And Priscilla and
they're awesome for a lot of reasons, but
they are fantastic.
The location is definitely one of those. And if you don't follow their Instagram, they're really entertaining. I really like Art Coffee House's Instagram.
They've done a good job. They're leaning into it, trying to come up with ways.
They do the trends. They hop on the trends.
Yeah, and it's it's fun to do that, and it's smart of them to do that. So check out their. Speaking of gramming, right?
Yeah, it's all about
definitely check them out. Did I mention Desi District? I think I did. They're opening up over there in the same place as Stone Age Barbecue. Yeah, and that's kind of the updates of the new things going on. I've mentioned so many brand new restaurants. If you want to know more, go check out some of our other updates. We last couple of shows, we went through a big laundry list of things that are opening. So we'll really, moving forward, highlight all the things that are actually opening or about to open. Yeah. I'd love to mention World Cup.
Can I? Oh, yeah. Let's get into World Cup in a second. But before we get off the Instagram talk that we're on here, how do you... So when I first met Discover Dunwoody, it was Dunwoody CVB. Is that right? I think that's what it was called. And there was never like Instagram little videos of the local restaurants and stuff. And you guys have really leaned into that. And I feel like it's gone really well. And I think that, your Instagram page, and I don't know if you guys are on TikTok, but I feel like that stuff's grown a lot because of, those videos, that trendable, like cut scenes and pictures of the food and stuff like that. Is that the young kids, or the young adults that you're bringing in from right out of college that know how to do this? Because I know that you're not going to these restaurants and recording.
Well, no, right?
But you're good at finding young talent, huh?
Well, yes, and you could typically tell when I'm in any of the Instagram shots because you'll see a man's arm. So my right arm is very famous.
Yeah.
I'll join them on shoots. Here's what we did and how we have developed our team. We like to have interns come in over the summer and from college and see and get to know them a little bit. And it's a great way to see if someone is a good fit for our culture. We have a very specific culture here at Discover Dunwoody, that they have that creative mind and are able to produce the content that we want. And from that bench, we typically bring in new folks. So example, we have a brand new staff member, Zoe Demetri. Zoe was our intern last summer. And it just so happened we had an opening as she graduated from college. So we look for people that really enjoy this type of content. And listen, it's a lot of fun. You get to go to wonderful spots in Dunwoody and experience great things. And you have to have a clear, fun, fresh eye. And our Instagram page has been successful enough that now we have restaurants calling us saying, "Hey, are you coming to see us?" Which does make it easier.
That's cool.
Yeah. CT Taqueria or CT Cantina in Taqueria. They knew we were coming, and when we walked in, they had 10 to 12 dishes. They just started coming out. Yeah. And we were able to collect all that content. So it does really help that the restaurants lean in and want us to show off their content too. We're going to a Stone Age barbecue today, Stone Age Korean barbecue today, and we'll get content. Okay. But yeah, it's the team that does
for that hairy arm, right? That's Mark's arm.
I'm not going to, I am, we're recording an episode of Dunwoody Dialogues today, actually, with your friend Alan Mothner. He's coming in.
Okay. One of my favorite people in the city of Dunwoody.
Yeah, he's a great guy, great person to sit down and talk to. You don't have to work.
He's been all over the city too, from the nature center and working with development and that kind of stuff. Now the Sproul Center.
He's such a resource, right?
Yeah,
and boy, he does a great job at Sproul. He's a super guy.
That's actually a perfect gig for him.
It is a great fit.
What's up, everybody? I'm Woody, your friendly Dunwoody AI Golden Doodle. Discover Dunwoody is all about community engagement. They work closely with local residents and businesses to foster a sense of pride and ownership in our city. This collaboration not only enhances the visitor experience, but also ensures that our local economy thrives. By involving everyone in their promotional efforts, Discover Dunwoody creates a welcoming atmosphere for visitors. If you're passionate about our community, be sure to follow @Discover Dunwoody on social media for updates on local initiatives. If you know anyone planning a trip to Dunwoody, direct them to whatsupdunwoody.com/hotels to find great hotel options. When they book through that link, they're directly supporting this show. Don't forget to check out whatsupdunwoody.com/events to find out what's going on around town. Let's come together to celebrate and support our vibrant community.
So let's talk a little about World Cup. So World Cup is a little soccer tournament that's coming up next summer. Did you know that there is a tournament in the country in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico this summer, which is kind of like a trial run?
No.
Have you heard about this?
No.
So there is something called the Club World Cup that is coming to the U.S., and Atlanta's hosting three group stage games on the 16th, 19th, and 22nd of June. Then we get two round of 16 games, June 29 and July 1st. And then we get a quarterfinal on July the 5th. Here's what's unique about this versus the World Cup is that they have the club teams that have been invited, and they did some qualifiers last year to get here. But for example, some of the teams is Chelsea is coming to play. Manchester United is coming to play. Excuse me, I said that wrong. Manchester City is coming to play. Woo, that's a big change. That's not. They are no way. Actually, don't think those two teams like each other. And there's a ton of teams coming, and so those are big club teams. Yeah, Inter Miami is playing in the tournament from the
Miami.
The tournament. Who's that?
From the MLS.
Thank you. Gosh, I
Messi.
just
What
lost
are,
that.
what are you looking for here?
Yeah, Messi's playing with them, right? So anyway, that's all happening. We are hosting an event on June the 22nd in conjunction with Create Dunwoody
I saw that.
and
Speaking of Messi,
and Ashford Lane, and a group called Passion Soccer that we'll have a viewing party over at Ashford Lane. So go check this out.
and what does that have
And
to do with the Argentina consulate? What is that?
so the Argentine consulates in Dunwoody, we have teamed up with them to really reach the all the Argentinian fans, which these people that they sell their homes to come see the World Cup. So
Yeah.
these are huge fans. And so Argentina is a great market for that. We've developed a relationship with the consulate, and the goal is let's get people staying in our hotels when all of the soccer stuff, be it this summer or next, is happening in Atlanta, because you can take a MARTA and go straight to the game. And you get to stay in a family-friendly environment. So we've teamed up with them, and they're pushing this out to their connections. And what we've done is we've set up a link. So if anybody books a room in Dunwoody through a link, and you can find the link dis-dun.me/football, Futbol. If you go to that link, you can reserve a room in Dunwoody, and a portion of the proceeds from those rooms, there's a commission structure on that, goes to support this group called Passion Soccer. Passion Soccer is an organization formed in conjunction with Pope Francis and a player from Argentina, Jose Almanas. They've set up Passion Soccer with the goal of getting young people involved in soccer in Atlanta to keep them from doing all the other things, the bad stuff that kids can do when they are growing up. We love supporting Passion Soccer. We love supporting Jose and his team over there. So we're trying to get that message out. So if anyone's coming in, they want to catch a game, they want to stay in Atlanta and go to either the Club World Cup or World Cup next summer, this link will be good for that whole time. Book a room there and support Passion Soccer in Atlanta and help Jose reach more kids and help get more kids involved in good things versus some of those bad things that kids get involved in. So we're excited about that.
And if you don't know soccer, maybe warm up this summer, because next summer is going to be huge. I mean, it might not be like the Olympics in Atlanta because it's not all going to be here, but there are, I think, 6 games. We looked it up the other day. There's a semifinal game. There's a bunch of the regular round games. And I mean, World Cup is going to take over the United States next year. And it's in Mexico, the US, and Canada, but I'm paying attention.
Exactly. It is going to be bigger than Super Bowl. So
absolutely. Every year.
Every game is as big as a Super Bowl game. And we've got a ton of them in Atlanta. And Atlanta is such an important part of the World Cup because of Atlanta United has been so successful. Yeah. It put Atlanta on the map for soccer. So
it's funny.
A lot of exciting things.
When I heard that Atlanta was going to get a soccer team, I thought, I mean, that's kind of cool, but MLS wasn't really at that time. It wasn't on my radar. And I've grown up. Soccer is my life. Like, I love soccer. My entire life I've played soccer, and I just never watched the MLS. And now that the MLS came to Atlanta and it was so successful, and my favorite part about it is you go to those games and it's all red and black and gold, like the whole stadium. Like, we're playing the Seattle Sounders or somebody, like a green team, and you'll see like a handful of green jerseys. But you go to a Falcons versus Cowboys game and it's half Cowboys, but you go to Atlanta United game and it's all United fans. I love it.
Right. And they fill up that stadium. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's people of all different races and colors, and it's not like the Hispanic crowd that you would have thought would have been like the whole stadium. It's everybody. I love it.
It is such a great thing,
really
and it's good to see the city pull together and support something like that. I agree.
Absolutely.
That is a lot of fun. Great time. If you have not been to a United game, go.
Super fun.
It's such a good time. And if you don't live in Atlanta, stay in Dunwoody and take the train, and you can go to a game.
Yes.
You just had to say that.
I always throw in that marketing.
You had, before we started taping, you asked a question about how Discover Dunwoody is structured and what's our relationship with the city, because this is data that you did not know. So let's talk a little bit about that. Discover Dunwoody is funded through hotel tax. That's why we are very interested in hotels. So we will always start off with saying stay at our hotels.
That is your main thing. That's always been your main thing. You've branched out a lot from that, but
yeah, our number one goal is to get people staying in the hotels. We do other things because that's important. It's part of our charter. It's part of the things that the city wants us to do. But we'll always stay first. The one thing that we want you to do is stay in our hotels.
Right.
The reason is 8% of every room rate, of every room that is in Dunwoody, one of our 10 hotels, is a tax that goes to the city, of which we get 3.5%. And this is by law. This is state law. If a city has a Convention and Visitors Bureau or a destination marketing organization, which is what we technically are, and they charge 8%, 3.5% has to go to an organization like ours. Yeah. Now, the charter allows the city they can pull that charter from us anytime they want. So the city council could decide we don't like the people at Discover Dunwoody anymore, and we've decided we're going to pull our charter. And we would cease to exist, but they would have to form another one someplace else as another CVB, because they have to spend it that way.
Yeah. And is the 8%, is that high?
No, it's
compared to
average.
other cities. That's normal. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty average. If you go all over the country,
when you stay at a hotel, you pay an extra tax.
Yeah.
And then gotcha.
Yeah. Anywhere you go in the country. Yeah, you've seen this. You stay at a hotel, you see the tax line, you're like, wow. Yeah, there is the sales tax, and then you're going to see what's called occupancy tax on there.
And it's a good way to tax people that don't live in the city instead of raising our taxes. You know what I mean?
That is a whole nother podcast on who's actually paying that tax. Are you taxing?
And we're going a little long now, so yeah.
Yeah, we won't go. We'll do that another time.
But it is smart.
So that's how that works. While the city has oversight, they don't have direct oversight. We actually answer to a board, and an independent board determines our executive director, whether he has his job or not, so to speak. So that's who he answers to, and we report up through our executive director. Actually, he's a president and CEO. Quick note, Create Dunwoody is a separate organization too. They're getting money. They're funded through the city, economic development, and a portion comes from us. Okay. And the goal is get Create Dunwoody to stand on their own, and then we will no longer fund them, and they'll be entirely independent. So that's kind of the structure of us and Create Dunwoody, who has. I
feel like Create Dunwoody's growing pretty fast too, because that was a smaller organization.
It was.
I don't even know if it existed, honestly, when we started the podcast, but it's grown fast, and Rosemary's done a good job.
It has. Rosemary Watts is so good. We're so thrilled she's there. And the last thing that's important I want to mention is it's officially tomorrow. Don't know when this is going to drop, but tomorrow it's your birthday. So happy birthday early.
45.
And you are our trolley tour guide. You're going to come out here and get on the, we're going to put a microphone on you, and you get to show how much you know about Dunwoody. Are you ready?
Might be a mistake for you. I was kind of going through. I've got my list of stuff that I want to talk about, but it'll be fun. So 6 months ago or so, you asked if I would lead one of these trolley tours, and they're once a month. And I looked at the dates, and they were all the second week of whatever each month. And I saw that June 12th, and I was like, I'm going to lock that one down. I'm going to do that. And so my wife got off of work tomorrow, and she's going to join us, and it'll be fun.
You asked me some of the VIPs that are going to be on the trolley tour, and I should have told you your wife's going to be on it.
Oh, yeah. But it'll be fun. So, and if you are interested in the trolley tour, this one's sold out, obviously, because of the host.
Yeah, but, we actually have to have extra security to make sure there's not any rowdy people trying to get on.
Right. But yeah, so we're stopping at Barn. And hopefully everybody's going to have some drinks. We're stopping at Sproul, and hopefully we'll get to see Alan Mothner. This is a lot of my favorite people, actually. Farm Burger, which we used to be a Farm Burger family. We haven't gone there as much recently.
Good.
Politan Row, we're stopping at Politan Row, and Agave Bandino, which, all those places are special to me.
Terrific.
And Putt Shack, which I haven't been to.
Yeah.
So
good. One of the things that we do on our trolley tour, and everybody always says this, they think they're going to get onto our trolley and just sit and drive around the city. No. We stop. You get off. You try food. It's an adult-only tour because there is alcohol tasters, samples is probably the right word, that we have on the tour. So it is a lot of fun. People that have been local dignitaries, like Michael Starling did the tour. He was blown away, but he thought it was so much fun. So it is a great time. I'm glad you're doing this, especially on your birthday. That's just so cool.
Yeah.
Cool. We so appreciate you, Matt.
I like to do memorable stuff for my birthday. And even though this isn't like, it's out of the box. It's outside the box. But it's also at the same time, this is me, guiding a tour through Dunwoody. Like that's my kind of thing. I don't know.
I think, I'm excited about it. I think you're going to be great at it. And we do. We so appreciate you and everybody that serves as a tour guide. Love shaking this up. Love getting people who love the city, who know the city well, to guide our tour and to put your spin on it. So spin away on your birthday.
Don't want me to spin too far. All right. Well, thanks as always, Mark. Appreciate all of your insight, and we'll talk to you next month.
That sounds great. See you guys.